What is happening? Welcome to the First Pitch Podcast, your morning podcast from pitchers.com. My name is Nick Pollock. Today is May 6th, and we are going to talk about baseball. John Means threw an imperfect game with the only base runner coming from a dropped third strike as he fanned 12 against the Mariners. It is just so wonderful. Congratulations, John Means. Not much more to say about that. He is very good right now, and yes, John means business. The Blue Jays will host their home games in Buffalo starting on June 1st as they would be getting out of Dunedin, which has been really the cores of the South. So good news, I think, across the board for pitchers, not so much for the Blue Jays hitters, but Buffalo is still not the most pitcher-friendly park. Johnny Cueto is starting on Sunday for the Giants. Joey Votto, will miss at least a month with a fractured thumb. Mike Ford is playing first with Rougned Odor on the IL. Wow. That's one. I'm going to start it back from Joey Votto. Joey Votto will miss at least a month with a fractured thumb. Mike Ford is playing first with Rougned Odor on the IL. Gene Segura could return today or tomorrow. Jake Odorizzi could need a rehab start or two. George Springer is back on the IL. Alex Verdugo is dealing with a back injury, and Jacob deGrom's status for Sunday is still unknown. He'll throw a bullpen and reassess from there. Hitting performances from yesterday's games, courtesy of Josh Scherzer. Didi Gregorius went 1 for 3 with a home run and 4 RBI. His first inning grand slam was the last of the Phillies scoring in yesterday's game, but it was all that they needed in their 5-4 win over Milwaukee. The Phillies shortstop is quietly turning things around at the plate as Gregorius now carries a 4-game hit streak into tonight, a stretch in which he is 5 for 13, 2 home runs, and 8 RBI. Gregorius now has 22 RBI in 26 games played and is still available in about 16% of leagues on ESPN. Giancarlo Stanton went 3 for 4 with a homer and 4 RBI. He is quickly shaking the label of someone who fails to deliver in big spots, coming up with 3 hits at critical moments last night. Stanton's power in the third gave the Yankees a 2-0 lead. He then hit an RBI double in the fifth to tie the game at 3, and his 2 RBI single provided much-needed insurance in the bottom of the 8th. Stanton now holds an 11-game hitting streak, a stretch in which he is hitting .500. And then there's Avisail Garcia, went 4 for 4 with 3 RBI yesterday. Garcia carried Milwaukee last night with a 4-hit effort, but it wasn't enough as the Brewers fell short of the Phillies in a 5-4 loss. Garcia's 4 base hits accounted for half of the Brewers' offense, and he drove in 3 of his team's 4 runs. Garcia is finding his stride here in May as he has hits in 6 consecutive games and is 11 for 21 with 6 RBI during the stretch. Reliever notes from yesterday's games courtesy of Alexander Chase. Ian Kennedy struck out the side and picked up his 2nd save in 2 nights with his 9th save of the season. Some combination of Josh Sborz and Brett DeGoss could be the next. Dang it. I forgot DeGuss. All right, that's 2. I got this. I'm fine. Josh Sborz and Brett DeGuss. Ian Kennedy struck out the side as he picked up his 9th save this season and the 2nd save in 2 nights. Some combination of Josh Sborz and Brett DeGuss could be the next man up for the Rangers after Joely Rodriguez also went back-to-back. Michael Fulmer picked up a save in the bottom of the 10th, his first of his career. And the 9th inning guy, Gregory Soto, got the W, but did allow 2 runs, 1 earned in a win over the Red Sox. Matt Barnes, pitching in his 2nd day in a row, had 3 Ks in the 9th in a non-safe situation for the Red Sox. He should now have an off day, as will typical setup man Adam Ottavino, so Darbazan Hernandez could be the man in line to vulture a save. Kenley Jansen's line looks a little ugly, 1 earned run and 3 walks, but the run was a ghost runner, and 2 of the walks were intentional. And the Cubs had the winning run on third with 1 out on the bottom of the 10th, so it made a lot of sense. He got the double play. The Dodgers stayed alive, only to lose in the bottom of the 11th. In case you're worried about his command, don't be. Just overlook those 3 walks. And Ryan Yarbrough got the win after Andrew Kittredge opened, and Jeffrey Springs got a 4-out vulture save with closer Diego Castillo on the IL. That is Springs' 2nd of the year. Pete Fairbanks, or otherwise known as Pete Stairbanks, is the only one of the late inning rotation who didn't pitch yesterday, so he's likely in line for some work tonight, though which inning is anyone's guess. Starting pitching performances from yesterday's games. I already talked about John Means. Only a couple other guys to talk about. Sonny Gray was my lead. 7 innings pitched, 0 earned runs, 2 hits, 2 walks, and 8 strikeouts. His curveball was amazing. One thing I've talked about a lot over the years about Sonny Gray is that I want to see the curveball and slider find strikes inside the zone and not just be hyper reliant on O-swing. That is, when you see zone rates above 30% on those breaking balls, generally Sonny Gray has a fantastic outing. That's how it was for the curveball yesterday, and that is wonderful. You should have confidence of Sonny Gray as a top 25 starter the rest of the year. I just hope to see that slider get to the same level of that curveball, and then we can really be talking about a very long stretch of success. Robbie Ray has now gone 3 straight games with 0 walks. He's never done that in his career. 6 innings, 3 earned runs, 6 hits, no walks, and 9 strikeouts yesterday against the Oakland Athletics. He's putting his four-seamer in the middle of the zone, well, slightly above it, but he's getting in the zone. That's what matters. He's throwing tons of strikes with it, and it's at 95 to 96 or so. It's unbelievable. He's sitting there. Robbie Ray is really, really good. If he's still on your wire, you should be picking him up. Shohei Ohtani went 5 innings, 0 earned runs, 1 hit, 6 walks, and 7 Ks. It's kind of weird. I watched a lot of this one. The 6 walks felt a little odd. I didn't feel like there was the erratic and out of control Ohtani that we've seen in previous starts. Much better. This was a step forward. And as I've said before, I feel like as Ohtani gets into rhythm, we'll start to see the walk rates go down as the strikeouts are just going to continue to stay up. Stick with Ohtani. I think he's actually a solid buy low right now. Depends on how people are valuing him, but I think he does continue to improve. Hyun-Jung Young went 3.1 innings, 1 earned run, 4 hits, 1 walk, and 8 strikeouts against the Twins. Yeah, you don't know who that is, I'm sure. Or maybe you do, and it's still incredibly shocking that he got 8 strikeouts in his 10 outs. So you think, he must be throwing hard. He must have these unbelievable breaking pitches. No. This is an 89-mile-per-hour fastball that he commanded super well, and the Twins allowed him to throw over the plate and just take passively. And then he set up this really nice changeup. It's a solid changeup. It's not just like an average one. This was a really, really good one that really kept the Twins hitters at bay. And that got a lot of those strikeouts. He did also sneak in some fastballs past bats too. Maybe they were looking for that secondary pitch. It seemed very weird, and I do not believe this in the slightest. So you don't need to go pick up Young or anything like that. This isn't all of a sudden like a Shane McClanahan situation or anything close to it. As I still pray that Shane McClanahan will get at least 5 innings with any sort of consistency for the Rays. But that's a different story. I would not go and pick up Young. And lastly, there's Adbert Alzolay. 5 innings, 2 earned runs, 3 hits, 1 walk, and 7 strikeouts against the Dodgers. Really, really nice to see that slider still being used about 40% of the time, having success. He did do well with his fastballs in 92 to 93 here. It's not the level of Huascar Ynoa. Huascar Ynoa throws 97 as opposed to the 92 here. But it's still encouraging, and you should feel a little comfortable starting Alzolay moving forward as that slider continues to perform. All right, looking forward to today. Here is Mark with the weather. Thanks, Mark. Today's streamer is Drew Smiley against the Nationals. I don't love this one. It is a yellow label. If you don't know what I'm talking about, that is the SP Streamers article that I put out every single day, looking at today and tomorrow. So definitely use that as a reference point. And of course, if I didn't mention the starter you want me to talk about, well, I've got my SP Roundup. You should be reading that every single night. I put it out normally before 2 a.m. on the weekdays, so definitely check that out. It goes over all of the guys you were curious about for your fantasy teams. But that's going to do it for today. So if you like what we do, please consider supporting us at pitcherlist.com/plus. You should join our Discord. It's amazing. Seriously, it is so much fun. It is just baseball talk the entire day. All your questions are answered. And of course, I'm recording this live right now on Twitch at twitch.tv/pitcherlist. Come on by, hang out with me 8:30 a.m. to 11 a.m. every single weekday morning. But that's going to do it for today. So my name is Nick Pollock, and that is everything you need to know.